Something has changed in your relationship. You cannot fully explain it, but you feel it every single day. You text them. They reply hours later with one word. You plan something thoughtful. They show up distracted. You try to have a real conversation. It turns into a debate about who did what and when. And at some point, you stop reaching out. Not because you stopped caring, but because reaching out started feeling like losing. You cannot pinpoint the exact moment it changed. There was no big fight, no dramatic turning point, just a slow, quiet shift from two people who genuinely wanted to know each other to two people managing each other. And the worst part is not the distance. The worst part is that everything still looks fine from the outside. Here is what is actually happening. At some point in your relationship, without either of you deciding to, love became conditional. Not in a cruel way, in a quiet, almost invisible way. You stopped being vulnerable because the last time it was used against you in an argument. They stopped initiating because the last time they did, you were too tired, too busy, too somewhere else. So you both adapted. You both protected yourselves. And protection, when it becomes permanent, looks exactly like distance. What started as two people choosing each other slowly became two people managing each other, measuring, calculating, giving just enough to keep the peace, but holding back just enough to stay safe. That is not love breaking down. That is love going into survival mode. And survival mode, if left unchecked, becomes the relationship itself. You will recognize this in the small things. Conversations that stay on the surface because going deeper feels risky. Affection that only shows up when things are going well, never when things are hard, which is exactly when it is needed most. Keeping score without meaning to. Noticing when you did something and they did not. Filing it away quietly. Building a case neither of you ever planned to build. Physical presence without emotional presence. Lying in the same bed, feeling further apart than when you are in different rooms. And the silence. Not the comfortable kind that comes from knowing someone deeply. The careful kind. The kind where both of you are choosing words, managing reactions, performing a version of fine that neither of you actually feels. That silence is the clearest sign. Because when two people are truly connected, they do not have to manage each other. They can just be there. This does not happen because people stop loving each other. It happens because people stop feeling safe with each other. Safety in a relationship is not about physical security. It is about knowing that you can show up as your full, unedited self, confused, tired, scared, imperfect, and the person across from you will not use that against you. When that safety erodes, and it erodes slowly, almost always through small moments of dismissal, criticism, or emotional unavailability, people stop showing up fully. They start showing up strategically. And a relationship built on strategy instead of safety is not really a relationship anymore. It is a negotiation, a silent, exhausting, never-ending negotiation. So what do you actually do with this? First, be honest about which one of you withdrew first. Not to assign blame, but because the withdrawal almost always started with a wound that was never addressed. Find that wound, name it out loud, to yourself first, then to them if it is safe to do so. Second, choose one moment today to reach without keeping score. Not a grand gesture, something small and genuine. A question you actually want to know the answer to. A moment of attention that has no agenda behind it. Because negotiation ends the moment one person decides to stop calculating and start connecting. That decision cannot wait for the other person to go first. Someone has to go first. And if you go first, genuinely, consistently, one of two things will happen. Either they meet you there and you start rebuilding something real, or they do not. And now you have your answer. Both outcomes are better than the silence you are living in right now. And here is something worth sitting with. The version of you that stops accepting managed love as the default, that version does not appear after the relationship changes. That version appears the moment you decide that what you have right now is worth being honest about. With yourself first, then with them. The relationships worth having are not the ones with no distance. They are the ones where both people are willing to cross it. If this video describes something you are living in right now, sit with that. Do not scroll past it. Because the moment you can clearly see what is happening is the moment you can actually do something about it. Drop a comment if this landed. I read everyone. And if you want to keep understanding yourself and the people around you at this level, subscribe. This is exactly what we do here every week. I'll see you in the next one.